What up, though? Welcome back to the Beat Factory 313 War Stories podcast, and I'm your host, Juice. And let them know who we got back with us, my brother.
Yeah, we got Mark McCloud here on the phone.
How you been, my boy?
Pretty good, man. Just wanted to reach out to you and your audience, coming from the Michigan Department of Corrections in the state of Michigan, this Lakeland Correctional Facility.
How things been going for you? What's been going on with you?
As it relates to my case, thank God it's moving in the right direction, but it can't move fast enough for me.
That's right. And what stages are you at right now? What's going on with the courts right now?
As it stands right now, I am waiting on a hearing to determine this evidentiary hearing, to determine, to present my new evidence in front of the judge, and hopefully it can push me over the finish line. In between that and the youthful adolescent case law that just went through the Michigan Supreme Court dealing with 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, that's pushing me out the door as well. So all praise due to Allah. I should be home in a matter of months.
Inshallah, I pray you do be home, brother. You feel me? It's been a long time coming. Now,
yes, sir. Damn it, 40 years, man.
Man, that's a blessing. How do it feel to be at the end of a 40-year incarceration?
To say great is an understatement, but at the same time, the fight was long and hard, and there has been wear and tear put on you. You don't go through these bits and come out unscathed, because the shit that you go through in here, from dealing with the administration, the guards, to the prisoners, to family, not being there at times, family passed away. You don't come out of this shit unscathed, and imagine if you're innocent and you've been in here all that time, and 20, 30, 40 years later, they say, okay, we made a mistake. Your mental be messed up.
And what helped you keep your mental intact?
I don't think my mental is all the way intact, to be honest with you. But to the degree that it is, I can only say that what helped me is I like me, because I did most of my time solo. Most of my time been done in the maximum security prisons, in segregation or solitary confinement in the maximum security prisons, and so if I didn't like me, I would be a different dude right now, and so thank God I like me. So I think that's what really got me through all of it.
That's what's up. So how do you properly prepared yourself for this release day?
Say that last part again.
How you properly prepare yourself for this release day?
For the release?
Yes. On your coming home.
Woo. Now that is a good question, because I can only liken that to or answer that by saying I remember when I was in a hole for almost 15 years straight. And one day, when you're in the maximum security holes, or any hole, but in this case I was in maximum security, they pop the top food slot, and they, you got to turn around backwards, and they handcuff you, and the handcuffs got like a dog string on it, and so they have your door open, and you got to bag out the cell, and then they'll pat you down and then take you wherever the hell they taking you to. And so for the last 15 years, nearly 15 years, I've been bagging out of doors with handcuffs on or belly chains on. And one morning, it was about 7:30 in the morning. I'm still in the bed, laying in the bed, just my boxers or something on, and the door just pop open. I'm in solitary confinement. These doors don't open like that. And so the door pop open. So I jump out the bed and I'll just stick my head out the door with my arm, and I'm waving my hand trying to get the officer's attention that's up in the break box. And I'm telling him, hey, man, you broke the wrong door. And the officer is waving me to come up to the base area. So I go back in the cell, put my shorts and shit on. I go up to the area, and he say, your property over there, they have my property that's been stored for damn near 15 years. Your property over there, man, go grab your bedroll. You being released from segregation. And so after damn near 15 years, now I'm out.
Right.
It wasn't no debriefing. And so that's this process that we finna go through. No debriefing, man. They just are going to open the door. So for all these dead 40 years, it was no way out. It wasn't even a shadow of hope. And now the Supreme Court has made that incredible ruling, a great ruling, and it's going to free me. And now they say you can go home. They had, when you got a life sentence, they don't let you in programming. So it ain't like I could have gotten further my education or did anything to prepare. I went from having life without the possibility of parole. All my appeals have been unsuccessful. And then in the blink of an eye, a ruling come out. And in a few months, they're going to just let me out.
Man. And so they ain't gave y'all no debriefing.
No, man, ain't none of that. They are ramming stuff at us. Hey, sign up for employment readiness. What's that? Oh, they gonna teach you how to use a cell phone and a computer and how to fill out an application. Man, if y'all get the fuck out of here, you done took or denied me the ability to get any type of education, anything. Because of the sentence. And now all of a sudden, let's try to cram everything into these dudes in 4 months or 6 months. Most of us just gruntled by the fact of that. So, hey man, ready or not, society, the best thing that I can tell you is that because most of us are older dudes now.
Right.
And the reality is crime is a young man's game. Older dudes ain't out there committing crime or doing anything. And certainly not lifers, you know what I'm saying? We ain't out there doing nothing. They let us out of here. We finna go lean back somewhere.
That's right. But the thing is, they ain't properly prepared y'all to be able to come out and take care of yourself in society.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Offer some type of program and things of that nature.
Right.
And we at a time we going through election time. So how you feel about this election time? We trying to get Ty Perkins in there. Those who are voting and know about voting, go vote for Ty Perkins for mayor. You feel me? Re-election. But how you feel about it? Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question as well. The biggest thing with black men, Asiatic black men, we don't vote, and then we bitch and whine and moan about the conditions that we are in. We don't think nothing gonna change. I don't trust the politician. Well, how about you be the politician then? Why don't you run? We'll vote for you. If you don't like the people that's there, then change that. You can be the person. Because right now what's going on is we're being rude and we are upset. Well, how about ruling for a change? Because you can't sit on the sideline and then bitch and whine and moan and complain. Because if you don't run, them people who you don't like, they views, they're going to run and win. The one group that don't vote is black men, in particular young black men. We don't vote and we whine and bitch and moan all the time about our conditions. And even if you don't want to vote for the politician for yourself, most of us got a homie or a brother, or somebody that's affiliated with us in prison. Vote for that dude. Cast your vote for the dude that your man that's in the joint asking you to vote for. In fact, a great story is the reason why 18, 19, and 20-year-olds are coming home based off the research done by those neuroscientists. The only reason we're coming home is because we had got enough people to vote for Kimberly Thomas for the Michigan Supreme Court back in November and Kyra Bowden Harris, and put those two women on the Supreme Court. And now we had a 5-2 majority on the Supreme Court. And they philosophy believed in the science, and they applied it to 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. That's the only reason, man, about 1,000 of us are coming home in the next year or so. Because it was 4 Republicans to 3 liberal justices on the bench prior. Mm-hmm. And they said, fuck that science. And shot every dude that was 18, 19, and 20 down. 2 or 3 years later, we had got enough people to vote for those Democratic-leaning Supreme Court justices, and our life changed. And so voting matters, man. This shit matters. And if you think it don't matter, then that's why you living in that condition that you living in, man. You've got to participate. You've got to participate. If you think that the politicians is crooked, then you run for office and clean it up. And then the flip side of that statement is you already hanging out with crooks any damn way. You want to draw the line at a crooked politician, man, please. You already probably hanging out with dudes who rob people, dudes who sell dope, dudes who probably rape some chick, dudes who probably abuse women. You already hang out with crooks, but you want to draw the line at a crooked politician. And all along, you being rude and you complaining about your condition because you are not participating. I would love to see some of your audience people who are hearing these words. I would love to hear or find out that they running. Right. That they running for city council or mayor, state representative, state senator, or whatever, and get the word back to you, and we'll pass the word on to put that person in office. Because we should be tired of being ruled by some people who don't give a damn about us. I would rather see your face in that position.
That's right. Your own people. If you want to make a change, you got to do something about it. That's
right. And I understand that not everybody that looks like me and you is good for you and me. Because Malcolm told us that you got, there's a difference between.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Malcolm told us that, there's a difference between the house N-word and the field N-word, Right. And so we're looking for some of the field brothers to run, the ones who want to help our people, the ones who want to change things for the better for our people,
That's right. Let them people know, man. I appreciate you calling and sharing that with us, because they need to hear that, because they don't know the power of unity, the strength in voting. You feel me? For it to be changed, You got to be part of the change.
I hear you, baby. I hear you.
Yeah.
Ready for to click this line.
Okay, you got to call back. We go pause it here and let the people,
right.
And we talk back with.
All right, for the king up call right back.
All right, appreciate that. That's Mark McCloud, y'all. I'm in that right here. I was waiting on Mark McCloud to call back where we could finish up on this. But what we gonna do, we gonna get this out to y'all. But I want to elaborate on something that he was saying, and that was we got to get out that criminal state of mind. Stop thinking that all we could do is crime, and let these YNs know that the streets ain't what it is. So ain't nothing wrong with being a law-abiding citizen. You feel me? So go out there and take on them jobs of being the mayor. You know what I'm saying? Take on them jobs as being a lawyer. Take on them jobs as being a prosecutor. Take on them laws as being law enforcement, the police. If you want to stop getting abused by the police, we need some of our own people to be the police. How you think you go get some justice or get any assistance if we don't have none of our people playing a part? We being oppressed. You want them to keep being the officers that patrol the neighborhood. You want them to keep being the prosecutor and the judges. So we got to get out that criminal state of mind. You feel me? And start playing the real game of life. With that note, I'm going to end this. And remember, let these people know that the streets ain't what it is. And it's 1,000,001 stories in the urban community. This just for one. We go get this one out. This is from Mark McCloud. He's from the inner city of Detroit. You feel me? And he done served his time. He got almost 40 years in. They about to release him back in society. So y'all better start thinking about that. They about to release a whole lot of them back in society. And from what he's saying, those who've been serving a life bit like him for the last 40 years, they hadn't been properly preparing them. Now they trying to get them right. So we need y'all to start participating. Y'all votes do count. And if you in the inner city of Detroit, we got Ty Perkins, a lawyer running, a black lawyer. So y'all need to take in consideration, get Ty Perkins in there, somebody that knows the law. For you to beat this law, you got to know how the law it works, or how you're going to participate, or how you're going to compete. So with that being said, get out there and vote. Get out there and start taking on being a law-abiding citizen and get these jobs, to get in these positions to help make a change. For you to want to change, you got to help participate in that change. You feel me? With that being said, I'm going to end this now and we out.